Hey guys, Dan from All Systems Golf doing a breakdown on this technical tip Tuesday of Sergio Garcia's golf swing. Definitely one of the best ball strikers that we've been fortunate enough to see in person numerous times. When you talk about players that make a different sound, Sergio Garcia's name is always in that category. This is a guy that just absolutely has striped it for a long time. And I think when you talk about coaching and you're looking at players, the first thing we always do is we want to find out the background, and that's why we have an extensive questionnaire with all of our mobile lesson purchases, because even if we can't meet you in person, we want to be able to understand your background, your injuries. But in Sergio's case, this is a guy who is the son of a PGA professional. So he would be a guy that's obviously had a lot of lessons very young, and you're going to see a lot of textbook things because of that. And this is all a credit to the PGA professional and his dad. So you're going to see a really neutral grip, and then at setup, you're going to see that he looks very relaxed and that his arms are just right below his shoulders. He's just kind of approaching the golf ball athletically, but also relaxed. And I think that's a good feeling for a lot of players. And then when you start talking about his golf swing, certainly a hallmark of Sergio is slight restriction in the hips, and then he has a shorter arm swing than most players. And, because of that, it gets this sort of laid off look. If all he did was turn more and or get his arms to swing a little bit higher, he would get a little more internal elbow, trail elbow rotation, and also trail shoulder would move internal, and that would actually point the club more across, given what he's got here. So when you see a guy that's laid off, it's usually because of the length of his backswing that looks like that. Ironically, you have our friend John, who also has that same look at the top of his backswing. Certainly different wrist conditions, but we'll get into that later. So now when you talk about Sergio, you can't help but mention that he has a ton of lag when he starts the downswing, and that's really a result of sort of keeping your hands and the tension in your hands very quiet, and using your lower body to shift left and then beginning to rotate. But one of the things that I really want to point out about Sergio that I think everyone can kind of learn from, and I don't think a lot of people point this out, is if you look at where his hands are in relation to the golf ball at this particular position. People think that by rotating, you're getting the hands to go out towards the golf ball, and that's really not the case. So if you look here, as he starts to shift left, and now he's going to begin to rotate, the shaft is shallowing a lot, and now it's getting steeper with that lag. But really, you never see his hands go out towards the golf ball. And so that's very interesting. I think there's a lot of talk about how to shallow the shaft, etc. And, to be honest, we don't really care how you do it as long as it's functional and you can hit, shots that you want to be able to hit, and controlling distance. So there's a lot more that goes into scoring in this game than being able to shallow the shaft, for sure. So then when you look at Sergio at impact, because he has such a laid off shaft and a lot of lag, what's going to happen is the shaft's going to start to get vertical about right here. So what we notice is that if you draw a line just in here, you're going to see that it points just at the ball line, and then as he gets here, it's going to start really moving back towards the golf ball. Interesting is this is sort of the move that Mike Malaska teaches, and we've got a lot of respect for all the teachers out there. And so this is sort of the hands sort of in, and now the club is going to work out towards the golf ball. So that, I'm sure, is something that Mike probably really likes. And then if you look here, he's got very open hips and very open shoulders. You can see the left scapula right there, and that's supported, needs to be supported, because he's got a laid off shaft and a club face that's coming well from the inside early. And then now he's going to finish really left, which will produce a fade. So a lot of good things to like about Sergio.